Falcone.
Thanks, Falcone. Thanks.
So what about Falcone?
I love that they only reuse the same like three or four voice acting clips.
Right.
Thanks.
Thanks. Don't drop those pizzas.
It reminds me of that Spider-Man 2 game for PlayStation 2, where one of the side missions was like you had to save the little kid's balloons, but it was only one little kid's voice sample that they got, and he would just go, "My balloon," and then you'd have to like
Oh
fly
yes.
around as Spider-Man or like swing around. And the funniest ones were the guys that were hanging from the windows, like the construction people that for some reason were hanging out of a window, and you had to like swing by and like catch them. But you could, if you mistimed it, you would swing by and they would just fall, and it was hilarious. And I would do it on purpose. Here's a little
Good.
bit. Thanks.
All of them look like their windbreaker suits.
Yeah, they look like Sue Sylvester from Glee.
Right.
Let's see.
Oops.
I'll greed on them, even though they're level 6. Let's see, so where are we headed? I guess up? All they keep saying is fight through the police raid. It's like, that's kind of what we did.
Right.
Oh, here. Trigger Man. There we go. Just one guy.
Elite.
Oh.
Not much of an elite.
I was about to say, like, if they just sent that one guy, I'm
Yeah,
kind of feel
even if it's one of them,
disrespected.
because
It's like there's two supervillains there. We can just take Phil in, and he'll take care of them.
right.
See, that couldn't be it. Okay, here's a thing to undo. So I guess they are through here.
She's not like doing anything. She's going nuts. She's going nuts.
Nice.
Six.
This city preys on the innocent. I know. That's why I fight. Why the hunted is now the huntress. Batman and his crowd think I play a little rough. I think I don't play rough enough. Mobsters like the Falcones, crime lords like Penguin, psychopaths like the Joker. They redefine street crime. And now, all this new muscle. It doesn't take the world's greatest detective to figure out this isn't just a battle, it's a war.
When Batman has to hold you down because you're playing a little rough.
Yeah, there's a problem. Let's see. Now we got all sorts of new junk. Inventory.
Thank you very much. I am done.
Nice.
I feel like we're missing an investigation.
Oh, there it is. Good call. As soon as you said it, I saw it.
It's like I haven't seen it. It's like, yeah. There you go.
Awesome. Yeah, man. I don't know if you saw that picture of Kevin Steen and Prince Devitt in his paint.
Yes, I did.
Oh man. Because
Like,
my
yes,
biggest worry,
keep that thing.
my biggest worry is that Triple H is going to be like, well, we can't have you in the body paint, all this other stuff. But then him painted up like that, and then there's that poster of Triple H behind him. I was like, oh shit, Triple H might know really what's going on. Like keeping, because I always thought it was so weird because of how Vince McMahon was, that he would always want to recreate someone just so he could say he made them.
Right.
So he could be like, "Oh no, Brian Danielson, your name is Daniel Bryan," and and they would change even little things. But
Mm.
I mean, Kevin Steen has his whole "Fight Steen Fight." Like that's what his big catchphrase is, or package pile drive everybody. And I don't expect him to be able to pile drive people in WWE because they've outlawed the move. but at least let him keep like fight, and let Prince Devitt keep his body paint and the stuff that made them famous, like all around the world.
Exactly.
Like let him keep that, because that's their brand. Let's see. Go to North Burnley nightclub.
Dang. Yeah, hopefully they. I know they'll. They said that they'll keep it in NXT. It's just the worry now is once they get called up,
Yeah.
that they'll still be able to keep it.
And see, what's funny is, like, I almost don't want them to get called up. As weird as it sounds, because NXT is supposed to be their, oh, here's your developmental league until you get to the big
Right.
leagues. But if they keep this up with NXT and they get that fucking roster the way it is, make NXT another brand. Like, make it
Right.
as big. And then once a year at WrestleMania, have your NXT champ go against the WWE champ for the main event. Like,
Yeah.
that would be a thing. And then the belts would be important. And you could start doing it like UFC fights, basically. Like, okay, whoever's the best in NXT, and then you have a whole other division where you can put your mid carders like Zack Ryder and Justin Gabriel, and now they're main eventers. You know, so
Yeah. Well,
everybody
they're
wins.
trying to make they're trying to go back to having Raw and SmackDown super shows, right?
Yeah,
So, you know, just to, I guess to get them used to the big venues, start being able to just air NXT at the big venues, unless you want to keep that NXT universe thing going still, since they're like, they're very like animated, being in that one small spot.
yeah, they're allowed to kind of get away with a little bit more because
Yeah.
the people that are wanting to watch the product already know what they're going to get. So you can kind of play by the rules, or you can kind of break the rules a little bit, because
Yeah.
hell, the reason I want to watch is I know how Kenta fights, I know how Kevin Steen fights. Like I want to see that. I don't want to see them water it down because I'll tell you what, man, Bray Wyatt and whenever he was in OVW and NXT, at first he was Husky Harris, but
Right.
whenever he became Bray Wyatt, he would say some scandalous shit on NXT, like stuff he could not get away with on Raw. And my only complaint about his character now is that he kind of just repeats himself. Like he's still very good,
Yeah.
and he's probably the best guy on the mic that they have now that CM Punk left.
Right.
But he's just repeating himself week after week.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm starting to feel that too. Like he's starting to need. It's not so much the people that he needs to go up against. It's what he's bringing out to the mic. Like, all right,
Yeah.
you're kind of repeating yourself. You know, you better watch it because you could. I don't know. You could end up like Adam Rose or.
Right, you could just become a gimmick where you say some silly things, and then oh, yeah, he's got the whole world in his hands, and that's what people
Yeah.
remember. Uh, See, what really needs to happen is Bray Wyatt needs to go against somebody that he's actually scared of. And like that
Right.
would make Bray Wyatt's character is if you see him go to the ring and he doesn't have a lot of this like, oh, I'm crazy and I'm from the bayou and I killed my family.
Hmm.
Like he doesn't have that type of stuff. But then he just goes in the ring and he's just ready to fight. You can tell that he doesn't want to get inside the guy's head. He just wants to fucking fight. And
Right.
you need some sort of clarity like that. Like even Brock Lesnar, I don't mind that he's champ. In fact, I think it's a good idea because they need to readjust everything. Like
Right.
Randy Orton needs to be a fucking jobber. Uh, Alberto Del Rio's gone, thank God.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot going on. John Cena doesn't. I don't think he has a lot more years left to do in main events every single night. Like I really
Yeah.
don't.
He's almost getting done.
Yeah, so they gotta find. I think that's why Triple H is smart enough to bring in all the best indie guys right now
Right.
and kind of see what's
But
up.
I'm a little worried. I'm a little worried that they're pushing Roman Reigns in the main event too fast
Yeah,
because they're trying to have him be WrestleMania 31 for this year, or like this coming WrestleMania when they're here at San Francisco or Santa Clara. Like that's kind of a little bit too fast for my
It
taste.
is. And what the deal was, and this didn't make any sense to me. Like before Daniel Bryan got hurt, the plan was for this exact same thing to happen, but Brock Lesnar versus Daniel Bryan, like
Yeah,
where he would come in and just destroy Daniel Bryan. And I'm like, thank God, you hate to say it, but thank God Daniel Bryan got hurt because that's the last thing you want to see is him Brock Lesnar just mow over him after a year and a half of build up as the underdog. Then all that goes away. With Roman Reigns, I just don't think people are going to buy that he's going to beat Brock Lesnar. Like I don't.
yeah,
You're
I don't see it right
you're
now.
building up enough of a monster that here's a guy that suplexed John Cena 16 times, and what's Roman Reigns going to do? Superman punch him? Like, no.
Yeah,
There has to be an actual. The only way it's going to work is if it's a handicap match, and Brock Lesnar has to defeat two people, and Roman Reigns has someone on his side, and just one of them have to pin Brock. So it's kind of like a triple threat, but Brock
right.
Lesnar would have a handicap set against him. That way, it could keep the drama up. Like Brock Lesnar could get rid of the other guy, whether it be Randy Orton or John Cena or whoever it is, and then it's left up Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar after 45 minutes of a fight.
Mm.
Then it could be a little more even because the big guy's winded. You gotta. It's one of those things you gotta think about. And and I was gonna tell you, I need to give you an invite to this. Like, do you have BitTorrent and stuff like that, like uTorrent and those? Okay, because there's a website that has all the pay-per-views and the high def and everything, but then they also have kind of the kayfabeinterviews.com type stuff, like the behind the scenes.
Okay.
And one of the coolest things they have it's called Inside the Ring, and it's with a wrestler, and they're talking with the indie guys in CZW or Chikara. Like they're literally they go and they do a 3 hour long session. Like they just stand in the ring and are like, okay, you guys, I want you guys to do a 5 minute match, go. And then you see these indie guys do a 5 minute match, and then like the one of my favorite ones is Kevin Nash, because Kevin Nash fucking knows the business. Like
Right. I think you mentioned this on a Power Hour. I think.
it's yeah,
I think
it's so
you
good
mentioned this before.
because he talks about it and he's like, you got to think about it. And uh, he was like, what I want all of you to get good at is tag team wrestling. And he was like, because if you're good at tag team wrestling, you're a good wrestler. Because you have to think. You have to think about it. You have to get timing. You have to drag your opponent away from the other guy. Like, you have to tell a story. You can't help but tell a story in the ring. He was like, whenever you're doing a bunch of solo stuff, he was like, hell, I made a career out of doing 5 moves. And he was like, and the reason why is because I'm not a good athlete. He's like, I used to be, but I'm so big now that, I'd tear a quad all the time. And I fucked up my knees. So I had to figure out what moves could I do to where everyone else, like, goes around me,
Yeah.
but I just stand there. And then once he started doing that, I looked at old Kevin Nash matches, and then I kind of appreciated them more. Because I was like, okay, he's a big guy, yeah, he does his jackknife powerbomb, he does whatever. But he's thinking about it, and, like, I can appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, same here.
And, like, all those, like, the Puro Risu, the Japanese wrestling guys, they fucking, good lord. Because there's the two styles, I guess, of Japanese wrestling. Like, I was reading about this last month because I was just super interested. Like, okay, what makes Japanese wrestling so fucking good compared to the American shit? And
Mm.
there's the two styles. There's the strongman style,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like,
Right.
yeah, yeah, just the strong style. And then there's, I guess it's called the King's Road or something.
Okay.
And the King's Road sounds really fucking difficult because it's almost like a real life video game. Each move is worth a certain amount of strength. So like
Huh.
if and these are what the guys like Kenta Kobashi and Mitsuharu Misawa and like kind of the Ric Flairs of Japan, you like these legends. This is what they did is if I punched you twice, you could kick me once because it was equal.
Oh.
And then like if you did a suplex, what I would have to do is I would be allowed to do one of my signature moves plus a suplex to even it out because you did it to me first. Like there's this whole system of it. And I was like, how can they keep track of what the fuck is going on? But then,
Right. Because I'm having a hard time grasping it right now.
it's so crazy because then like two kicks equal a clothesline.
Uh-huh.
And then the clothesline, you have to do four clotheslines and it equals a suplex. Like that type. It's like this big math equation. But what's interesting about that is that's how you can do a good comeback story. Is let's say John Cena already went through all of his moves and he's on his finishers now. Well, if someone like Daniel Bryan's allowed to do anything in his arsenal besides his finisher to get back that momentum.
Yeah.
So the matches almost write themselves. You know, you just figure out who's going to get to their end game first, and then the other person makes up for it. So, like, I read about it and I was like, how does this work? And then I saw some of the old, like, 1989, Mitsuharu Misawa versus Kenta Kobashi matches. And dude, it's fucking rad. Like, once you know, like, how the system works and you watch it, those guys are perfect. Like, there's no better wrestling than that because they'll do, like, forearm strikes and then because he did a forearm strike, he's about to get fucking kicked in the head. Like, it's coming. So it feels like every move is a finisher because you could end it at any point. And like
Yeah.
so there's this build up and these guys take so much punishment. It's like that okay, a perfect example of it is that Samoa Joe match I sent you,
Hmm.
like, God, months and months ago, the Samoa Joe versus Kenta Kobashi match in Ring of Honor, where all they did, they just slapped the shit out of each other. They barely even wrestled. Like, they were slapping the chest
Just
so
chopped
hard.
each other, right?
They were bleeding.
Yeah, I remember that.
I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like, I didn't get it at first until I read about that and I was like, oh, I see. So they didn't even go to their tier 2 moves. They just fucking, they just went after it. Let's see. Accept that. There we go.
Some stuff.
Yeah, I'm probably going to sell some stuff too. There we go. But yeah, I keep checking Twitter to see whenever Kevin Steen and Prince Devitt and all of them are actually going to be on an episode of NXT. Because they keep like, oh, NXT's coming live on Wednesday. So I would check all the dirt sheets to see what the match was, and they're not on there yet. And I'm like, well,
Mm.
just going to wait. It's funny how much faster we're leveling and like getting a lot of money compared to the hero side.
Yeah.
Because now I know
Yeah.
how the game works. So it's like, oh, do it like this. See, what would be amazing is if the Diablo Ultimate Evil Edition had crossplay between PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4. Because, dude, we could play the shit out of that. Like, I told myself I would not buy Diablo again, but if there was a way that you were able to play it and I was able to play it at the same time, I would buy it on whatever system. You know what I mean? Like, and just stream it
Yeah.
and everything. Because I'm already like a level 214 on the PC version, so I don't really want to start over.
Right. Okay. That's a lot of experience. Not the biker. So we can go do Brainiac, get that out of the way, or go to Carmine.
We can do Brainiac. Let's see. Journal. Brainiac invasion. Yeah. Okay. Revolver Rob. He literally just looks like Robin, but with a tracksuit on.
Yeah.
Go to Gotham. Let's see.
There we go.
Just taking dudes out. All right. Looks like I have a canoe oar as my weapon. Yeah, I'm kind of like hit or miss on getting. I really want to get Assassin's Creed, but the thing is, I don't know why I want to because I played Assassin's Creed 1 and I liked it. I liked it. I actually liked the first Assassin's Creed better than a lot of other people did. Assassin's Creed 2 and Brotherhood were amazing, but I played a lot of it. I probably played 50 hours of each of those. And Assassin's Creed Revelations was just more of the same, so I played like an hour of it and I got burnt out. Well, that was a quick mission. And then Assassin's Creed 3 fucking sucked. It was terrible. And then I read the reviews of 4 and everyone's like, "Oh, 4 is amazing. 4 is the best." And I'm like, I don't know if I agree with that. But I haven't played it, so I don't really know. There we go. Let's see. Oh, nice. go. Oh,
Okay.
he's a citizen. So we just take the citizens back to the... Oh, dang it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're leaning towards more of you're gonna get it and see what it's like.
Yeah, because from what all the Metacritic stuff said, it said Assassin's Creed 4 is a lot... It's like the best pirate game ever made. If you go into it expecting a good pirate game, not necessarily a good Assassin's Creed game, then you're really going to like it. I mean, I don't have anything against pirates. So,
Right.
you know, it's like, oh, why not? You know, it'd be fun to stream and kind of
Yeah.
go through. Primarily, that's my major purchasing thing now. Where do I? Dang it! I think I took it to the right place. I think we got credit for it. So,
Yeah.
okay. Hold on. Come on. There we go. But yeah, and I mean, I wouldn't do the multiplayer or anything, but I'm just a big fan of those type of games that take forever to beat. You know. And Far Cry 3, like, I love it to death. My computer's not good enough to stream it yet, but whenever I get my upgrade, it will be. But that game's amazing. So if it's anything like that, I'll be super happy. Because there's just so much to do in that game. See if I pass here. Yeah, I can't tell what travel mode I like better, flying or acrobatics.
Yeah. It be once you play this game enough, it starts to become like, does it fit with your character?
Hmm. There we go.
Because I was gonna go with super speed, but first it was it's a rage tank by its base, right? So I was gonna go basically I was gonna go Luke Cole, like martial arts and like flying.
Yeah,
And I was like, I already did that with Hero, and I'm probably gonna do that when I remake the character for the Hero side.
I see.
So I was like, okay, maybe not. Maybe I should do another weapon. Oh, let's try rifle because I was mentioning to you like, yeah, you know, you could be a healer and have a rifle and stuff and still be okay. So I was like, okay, I'll go with the rifle. Then it became, how would that? Okay, rifle with flight doesn't really look right. Maybe I should put him with like acrobatic travel.
Right.
So it starts to become break down basically. I was like, okay, this should be more different than what I was initially going for.
I see. Yeah, yeah.